Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Pinterest Inspired Looks. I need a better name for that, or need some kind of wiggly, like, sparkle noises, or I don't know, something. Anyways, I'm going to be doing a Pinterest inspired look. You might notice some slight changes to my appearance. I got rid of my dark roots and redyed my hair nice bright yellow. And I bleached my brows. I've been talking about whether or not I'm going to shave my brows or not. And so bleaching them was a nice in between so that I can color them if I need to, or I can. Uh, I can still cover my eyebrows, or I can put color in them, and it's easy. So they are easier, but I do kind of look a little bit like a naked mole rat, but you know, whatever, whatever. I'm wearing my red and white Good Mythical Evening shirt. If you watch Good Mythical Morning, fun fact, I'm actually from the town next to where they're from in North Carolina. So they're from Booth's Creek, and I am from Fuquay Varina, North Carolina. And if you are like, both of those places sound like made up fairy tale hick town names, well, deal with it. Yes, and now I live in LA, so it's kind of funny. Um, so, anyways, let's just pick a look from Pinterest. I'm always adding to this list, and I'm always super excited to see what comes up. So let's just give this a little scrolly scroll. And I also am heading to Namies in Burbank tomorrow, hopefully, to pick up some stuff for some planned looks. So just did I select something? Oh my goodness. That is beautiful. Oh my gosh. That's stunning. It's like I haven't seen it before because it's just like, I mean, like, that is just incredible. What a majestic creature this person is. Now, it does look like that red is lighting. So I'm not gonna put red on my face. Even though I wonder if I could, like, I wonder if that would be like a Luke or if that would be like a flop. I don't know. I feel like it would be a flop. I'm just straight up gonna be like, no, that's that. I think there's a possibility it could look really cool. However, I also think it has really high potential to ruin the look for me, with my skill sets. I'm just gonna put it out there. I think it's lighting though. Now it looks like the eyebrows are covered, and with my eyebrows being as light and as thin as they are, I don't know if I necessarily need them to be covered. However, the way that the flecks of glitter are um, laying over the brows looks very specific. So I'm going to cover my brows and then do my base, and then let's get started on this gorgeous, flawless look and try to be half as cool as this person. So I'm just dusting off the powder now. I covered my brows. I just put foundation on. I mean, I put my primer on and then foundation. I didn't do concealer or cream contour or anything. To be honest, I was like doing 8 things at once when I was doing my base, so I didn't even like think to do anything else. But this is the Milani Conceal and Perfect foundation, and it really just does so much work for you. So I'm glad I used such a, like, one of my favorite foundations to just do that. Like, I do like to give my face more shape because I kind of do need a little bit of assistance in that department. But like, as far as like highlighting, especially. But I can do a lot of that with powder. But um, yeah, I just didn't even. I was just like do 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 do, and then I was powder, and I was like, oh, probably should have done a little bit more. I'm breaking out pretty badly, so I don't. I'm just working with what I've got going on. So we have some just really beautiful makeup going on here, some beautiful colors and textures that really get me pumped and excited. And I don't know what this hand is doing. I don't even know why it's like this is my non-dominant hand, so I never even like get real gay with this hand. Like this is the gay hand. So I don't like I could talk like this but never go with this hand. So this feels really awkward. This is gonna be weird, y'all. That I'm just calling it. I'm saying that this is gonna be a weird one. So this has pretty much all of the colors. I don't know about the pigment of it because I got it on Temu. Because somebody may or may not have had a significant mental health moment. Like, not kidding. And may or may not have had that moment on Timu. Okay, so I don't think like I have all of these colorful palettes. For some reason, like the the color scheme is not quite there. I'm trying to figure out the flakes. What I'm going to do for the flakes, and I'm like thinking about like the last step first. Like for some reason, like that's what draws your eye. Um, is it splashes placed? Oh yeah, that's those are like lash clusters placed at the bottom. I totally would have missed that. I'll probably still forget about them by the time I get to them. But okay, so we're gonna really design with the teal shape first, or teal color, because I think that that is what is the most critical. Okay, so we're going to start creating the shape. Now, we could use a really creamy pencil. However, due to kind of like just the shape of things, I think that it would be better to go in with powder um, and just hope for the best. Now, there's two colors that look almost identical, and one's a little bit more blue, and the other one's a little bit more green. And I think that I'm going to start with the one that's a little bit more blue and then deepen it with the greenish one. Now, these are quite thin in texture. Okay, so I think we are starting kind of right here. I think it comes in here. Yeah, these aren't quite serving the pigment that we want, but that's okay because it might just be also what we're placing on top of it. Actually, I need to put a sticky base on. I told you that this was going to be a hot mess of a tutorial, didn't I? And it's on anything. It's consistent. It's consistently inconsistent. I'm gonna put the P. Louise base on because it's the stickiest base I have for the eye. And it's gonna apply, um, it's going to apply really sticky base, for this color to go on top of. Now, it is pigmented, as you can see, so the colors are gonna show up, and gonna make sure that it goes over the part of my brow that has been glued down so that color sticks to it just as well as everything else um, that I'm doing. I'm gonna do it over the blue that I placed down. And then this look kind of squiggles up. So I'm gonna make sure that there's some of this out here as well. Making sure just to be really gentle when I tap over my brows because I don't want to do anything that's going to disturb them. They're sleeping giants, even though they're not that big, but they're sleeping giants. We don't want to wake them up. Said something that was so stupid. I had $1 for every time I said something stupid. Living in LA would be much, much easier for me. But that's life. Why sometimes I feel the need to turn my head around instead of turning my finger or hand inside that little part of my eye. If you can dream it, you can be. Now with this, because it does have pigment, you want to make sure that your edges of where you placed your color are fairly blended, because if they're not, and because this stuff will dry down, it's not going to stay tacky forever, even if you didn't put eyeshadow pigment on it. And so if you have a harsh line or something like that, it's going to be in your final result. This is not the white shade of the P. Louise. It's just my shade of the P. Louise. So this is Rumor 0.5. I think Rumor 0 is the white one. Um, I'm really just that light. I'm always surprised at how light I don't feel like I'm walking around as the whitest person in America, and then I see what foundation color I wear, and I'm like, I'm the whitest person in America. Okay, so it's sticking a lot better, but it's still not great in color payoff. Um, and it does look, I can see how she applied it. Um, it does look like she did apply some black to kind of um, amp up the look of the saturation of the color. So looks like it kind of dips down onto the lid like this. And this color is also kind of used as the eyeliner. So it's kind of like that, which looks heinous right now. But then we start to see it go up. And because of the positioning of the face, I'm trying to think of like where, like anatomically, it would like where someone would be like, yes, this is a good idea. Because obviously, like, it looks great. So I'm just trying to kind of like follow some shred of like anatomy that would this would have this like pulling effect. Now that I'm looking at it, I really want this peak to be higher than this peak so that we get this kind of slanted, kind of pulled up effect. So I'm gonna go in and I want this, and it does look like it does go, well, maybe she has much higher arched brows than I do, but we're gonna go and just as like the template, because the peaks aren't as severe up in here. I think I did make this a little wider than maybe she. That's it. So yeah, that's not moving. Okay, we're still gonna work with it. We don't have to reinforce that color as much. And kind of like try to move it a little bit, just optically, without being able to distribute the color elsewhere. Okay, so this part kind of goes like this. It is very difficult copying someone else's makeup, for me, at least, because like it's you're doing it on someone else's features, first of all, and then like they have like their specific supplies and brushes and pigments and like everything, and then also just like I just like everything is different, and you're kind of hoping that you're kind of getting the essence of it. Just why for a long time, I mean, like that's why really why like this is such a challenge that I'm excited to do, but is also a real challenge for me because I, for the longest time, I refused to do like I'd be like I'll do something inspired by that, but I'm not gonna like I'll like look at a picture and be like okay cool, and then I'll just do my own thing. But to do something that's actually much more focused on replicating another makeup is not something that I will say that I've like done um, successfully. Okay, and see, this is a little bit, and also I did a much thinner line that I can blend inward. I know I used to have a lot more eyeshadow palettes, and that was one of the things that was difficult to separate. Um, Trying to match the angle. That doesn't feel right. Feels like it's like too far. Like this feels like it's too straight up, doesn't it? I probably should have traced this out. I probably should have traced it out. You can, I can hear you in my head saying that I done fucked up. Okay, so we have like two very different sea serpents going on. Um, they, they're not even, they're not even in the same like nationality, and they're like they're sisters, not twins. Like no, these no. we're gonna go in and we're gonna try to blend out with a defined blender brush with the lighter green that's in the curvature, little curvy spots, and hopefully that can do us some service. Now, I'm not feeling confident with this palette. I'm confident about this palette, but I have been proven wrong once or twice before, so I hope that it does what I need it to. It's very, like, you can tell that they really went bare bones on the pigment and really leaned heavily into the base that they were using to produce this. Because that's like, it's muddy as hell. Like, I mean, not muddy, but just like, it's not popping. Now, there is this like crazy bright green, which I don't think is right for the. Maybe not as yellow as it needs to be, but maybe it can give us enough of a jumping off point that we can. Because it does look more pigmented. It looks like they were like, oh, the neons will be what really calls like people to the palette. So like, let's focus on those because like that is more pigmented than the other one, which is crazy because like neons have always been something that's like classically been like a trope of how like bad like palettes can be. Like it's like, oh, this palette actually sucks because this neon is just basically white with like a hint of whatever neon color you're trying to do. Okay, so I think we can work out some of the discrepancies of the shape using this brush and the darker green. Because we are gonna get we're gonna get the good stuff with once we start adding like a dark blue and the black. Um, Now looking underneath the eye, it looks like this is uh classic halo eye treatment underneath the eye. So I'm going to go, even though I didn't put the primer underneath the eye, I should still have some tackiness from my foundation. Um, there. So we're using the darker blue, or whatever a darker color that we've used thus far. Because the center is going to be what the center is here, which just it looks so good. I'm literally like, ugh, I'm like fanboying so hard. I'm trying to. It literally looks like gold leaf. I keep on going back to like it looks like silver gold leaf, and like I don't have that. And like the splatter of freckles is so cool. No, it's constant. It's just the whole thing's very cool. I don't know how you're gonna see white freckles on me. I didn't think about that. Gonna I might have to contour and bronze in a different way so that we can actually see. Yeah, because I don't think we're gonna be able to see. I just thought about that. We're not gonna be able to see white splatter on me. like, whitest boy in America. Told you. Okay, and I'm going to now go and it gets pretty thin up here. And I think that it's very possible that they did the eyes first in this makeup look. And then, but maybe not. I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna go back in with. Actually, I'm gonna go in with that. Remember when I was like, this is one's more blue, one's more green. I'm gonna go in with the one that is more green. Now, this one looks like it's less matte, which might mean it blends a little bit better. Because cheap mattes sometimes are the ones that that used to be how it was, where they would be the ones that are harder to blend. Things kind of took a turn where all of a sudden people were able to produce really good mats for really cheap. And that was like a huge, huge turning point for makeup. And it was amazing. And then I'm just going to make sure that I'm kind of fusing those two a little bit better than I have. So I've been just kind of placing them, and I want to kind of marry everything together a little bit better. This looks like a freaking music note. Sorry, I hate it. Not that I hate music, I just hate how this looks. I feel like this does have like a curve in the temple like that. Oh, I can go back in and carve it out with my. Okay, yeah, I didn't think about that. I could go back in and carve it out with my. Um, Told you this is a gay hand. Uh, with my primer, so I can kind of get the shape that I want. Okay, I feel less bad. So I'm going to take a dark blue and I'm going to just start to gently place this color kind of just on the edge of like the dome of the brush. I'm not like going in and like doing this. I'm kind of going and just very subtly and just putting the smallest amount of color that I can and placing it kind of what I focus strategically, but I'm going to go in with a navy because this is a navy from the same palette, and this is a really cheap palette. I'm going to go in with a navy from a palette that I have a little bit more confidence in. And I also need, like, I need a better green because this green is just not, the greens aren't giving. This palette's not giving. Now, the glitters in the palette are pretty interesting, and I did have some fun with them. There's this yellow glitter that's like gorgeous. It's like yellow iridescent. It's yellow iridescent, which is gorgeous. Um, but this palette is see, I just like I after spending money on the on an impromptu spree, I was trying to be like I get, but this is part of the spree. Yes, I just was like, well, I've been looking at like Blend Bunny and stuff like that, palettes, and I'm like, maybe this will be okay. But and then I'll come in and cut into this a little bit with, because this has like a little bit of this like the golden like yellow underneath it as well. So I'll fix that. I'm gonna fix a lot of it in post. Like, thank you for showing up to the party. Thank you for having pigment. What's going on in the inner corner? I have no idea. I can't see the inner corner. The lashes are covering it. I'm going to. I think I would bring the green down into this blue area that. Actually, maybe that color would work. I think I can put like a white highlight over it and maybe do something if I wanted to, or put like a little bit of just some of the freckles. So hard. So hard. This color, orange. You really ever use any of the blues of it? And like they don't have great blendability. Like the colors from the other palette, they just don't blend super well. And part of that might be because of the base that I stuck them on, that it is sticky, but like eventually like they should like blend, especially when you don't have much pigment and you're all sharing the same base. But this is such a weird shape to just be like have, because I don't have eyebrows and I just have these things going on. It's a pretty weird look. Now, because of where my brows are and my forehead, if I move my brows, this shape that is semi-rounded can start to get all weird shaped. So placement is interesting because photographing, like, this would be this would be great to photograph, but not wearable on like runway or like like, I mean, even in, like, I don't know, like, it just isn't one of those looks that has that wearability of, like, someone can move their face and it still looks good. Like, I think if I maybe had placed it a little bit lower, then I could have avoided this natural movement of my brow. Um, but I didn't. I think I really should have taken a pencil and blended it out. I think I would have gotten a lot more of the result that I wanted, but I didn't. We're here. I think I'm going to keep the electric palette out because I think that I can do a lot of this with the electric palette. I just need a good yellow, and I have one that's hefty, so I'm going to take um, this palette. Actually, you know what? I'm not using this brush. I want something a little bit finer. So I'm going to take the Avani Greg Morphe palette, and I'm going to take the navy color, just called Star Emoji. So I'm going to go in and start kind of carving it out a little bit. Trying to figure out where I can place it where it doesn't move as much. I think if I move it up a little bit, it won't be as bad. Okay, so I have a nice little concealer brush here. This is Morphe M170-8. Like, what the hell is the dash? I don't know. And then I'm going to take the Revolution. I'm going to take the Revolution, this is my color, uh, concealer in the color C1 because that is my highlight color because I want it to make sure it blends nicely up here. And I was a little afraid that the eyeshadow base wouldn't blend well. So I need this. I know it plays well with others. Um, I'm just gonna go in and guess really try to figure out what the hell I'm doing first. This little like carved in that's like cool as hell. That's gonna be yellow. That looks, oh, it just looks so much better. I know it's still like a little green that started to blend with the concealer, but once we place the yellow there, it should be fine. So with the eyelids, it actually starts with like pink and then orange and then yellow. I think the orange is actually just the pink and yellow mixing. And I'm gonna go with the Urban Decay electric palette, which has been kind of what I decided once I moved to the other colors that is actually working well, and it has a very bright pink. I'm gonna place that on the eyelid right above the eyeliner area. Now this brush isn't great, I'm finding, but it already has really bright pink on it, so. Okay, now I'm gonna take a yellow and a fluffier brush, and this is kind of like the whole forehead is yellow, but I want to strategically place it in some places. So this is a Real Technique brush. Some people use this on their eyes normally, and I'm like, ah, it's huge. Like, I don't have enough space for that. Yeah, a lot of people recommend these for like beginners too. I'm like, it's gonna fluff your shit everywhere. But you do you. I'm not gonna say that you're wrong. I'm just saying, definitely not the brush for eye makeup for me. I need those gold legs so bad because that is a huge component. I have these gold stars that are not at all gold flakes, but they are gold stars that are holographic. So I have that. I know I have gold glitter, but I feel like it's like a really low gold, which this is supposed to be yellow, so that makes sense. I have this bright green, which looks yellow here, but not necessarily next to yellow. And there's this gold. Looks so. I wonder if they did gold flakes and then put yellow shadow or something on top of it. I'm so interested. It's times like this where I want to like write someone or like I want to like be able to contact this person and be like, what did you use on this? Because I don't have any of them. I think I'm just gonna try to do some like combinations of like glitters, um, and if I can make it weird. No, I'm the biggest pressed glitter fan, um, but this is real pretty. Like 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 that's real pretty. It looks like there might be some. I can't tell. It's kind of hard to tell what's going on here in the picture. I'm just kind of hoping that we're getting the essence and the vibe. It's a very pretty yellow, and I feel like if I kind of let it have texture without just like laying it all down, it's gonna maybe start to look different than just glitter strewn about. Do I look even-ish? I just could maybe use like a little bit more right in that spot. I feel like I want to put that glitter right there, but I, I'm trying to do the look. Now I'm gonna try to take some of these other glitters and just kind of place them on that same area. I wonder if, I don't know. I feel like the gold just it might kind of wonder if it's just gonna blow up in my face. If I just use like a teeny bit of the gold. That kind of maybe did, I don't know. It's really just like 5 pieces of glitter that are going on with the gold. But I feel like it does kind of change the whole essence of the glitter somehow. On camera, I mean, on the computer at least. In person, not as much, admittedly, but now let's focus on the face. Actually, before we do face, let's do eyeliner and um, I don't want to do lashes yet. But I'm gonna do eyeliner. I'm gonna do that off camera, and and then we can start sculpting the face so that the white speckles will show up. You really contour my nose really teeny tiny, which is already fairly tiny. Um, but this is a very teeny tiny nose that I'm looking at. So I'm going to get my nose contour brush and really, really get a nice little tiny little nose going. I want to do the white splatter before lips and before lashes because I don't want splatter to get on my lashes. So I'm going to get some water and then we'll do some splashing. Okay, so I'm gonna get a little concoction going. I'm using my Moon Water liner from Hollow Grave Cosmetics. This is color Ghostly. And I am using a very well loved uh, 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 whatchamacallit, an eyebrow thing. Um, you want something with stiff bristles. You can use the old toothbrush, something like that. You can flick a brush at you. I'm covering myself up with a smock for hair dye. So bougie, and then you just want to flick like that. It actually looks like, now that I'm looking at the makeup, it looks like the eye makeup was done after the face completely. Because there's nothing on there. That's very interesting. But you can see it, and it looks like they did put some pink toned highlighter on there. I think I know what I want to do. I want to add some pink reflex glitter. If you've never had the opportunity to use MAC reflex, that is an experience unto itself. So it's like, I've had this for 100 million years. And I look for every opportunity to use it because they're in the hugest containers. And you're not, it's so much glitter. So much glitter. So I think for sticking it on, use a green stick. You, if you got, if you felt uncomfortable from what I just said, that makes two of us. And then, sorry, is this a bad idea? Maybe. It just, um, if I remember correctly, this is mica rather than pieces of plastic. I might be wrong, but it's just like it's totally different, but doesn't like blend like a pigment would. So I might just plastic it. Just like yeah, that like pink tone. It's just like I felt like a reflex, and in person, it's like crazy. Sometimes I stress myself. Okay, now that I'm done flicking white myself, let's go in and touch this mug up. Get some final touches, get some lashes. Actually, you don't need to see me touch it up. You've seen me do it like 3 times already. I'm gonna go do this. I'm gonna put some lashes on. I'm gonna put some lower lashes on. I'm gonna put uh, some of my like flesh tone liner in my lower lash line, and then we'll meet back up for lips. Okay, so I don't have a ton of brown liners, which is shocking to you and me because I feel like I should, and I'm surprised that I don't. So this is like a really nude one, just called Natural. Um, that looks like that. I don't know why things in front of the. I just have stuff on my computer, so I assumed that you could not see it because I could not see it. Sorry, I'm an idiot. This is a club hopper from NYX. It always like I always forget how purple it is, but it's a really nice like purple brown. But it is quite. It does pull like really really purple on the lips. But it's very nice. And then this is just a straight up brown from Stila. And I feel like none of these are the color. Here's the NYX eyeliner in brown, just straight up straight up brown. Honestly, that might be my best bet. And then this is the color Truth or Bear from Elf over there. Just not tea. This is like the exact same color. This is different. So, this is a color that I thought was brown that's more red. It actually might somehow work. This is the color, this is the Revlon Color Stay and Chocolate. I don't know, I think I like that one the best. Okay, it looks like, so it looks like the makeup is kind of taken off of the, um, oh, definitely not like a out of the foundation on the lips. Um, and then, um, see, I also want to find the right color for this. I feel like it's the tiniest little bit. Like, if I do something that's my lip color, I got these very recently. These are from Elf, the Cream Glide lip liners. They were $1. They smell like crayons already. They turned in no time at all. That's why they're $1. I mean, just from my initial reaction, I was like, "That's crayon. That's crayon." Mm-mm. You're asking why am I putting it in my mouth? Because it's my mouth. Okay. Like the formula feels fine, but when something changes scent, do not trust it. And so this is a little overlined on the top. Or a lot if you're me and you fuck it up. I'm gonna keep it a little bit more. It looks like they kept it rounded. The model just had really um, pronounced lips. Oh god, that's so uneven. I don't know if I've ever done a more uneven lip in my life. Which is, I don't normally do this type of lip. I'm not actually sure that they did this, but I think with the gloss, it will look pretty much exactly like what they did. And then they pretty much filled in the entire top lip with a darker color. A bit of a Kim Possible lip, if you will. And then very distinct line around the bottom lip. No feathering in. So I'm going to do a clear gloss on top of it. Um, Off of what I'm working with because um, it doesn't look like there is any color to that gloss. Um, Actually, it looks like there might be a little pink to that gloss. I'm gonna look at it again, and I'm going to do a double up. So I'm gonna do no, I'm gonna do double up. I'm just gonna touch a little of that pink in the center. This is a Lorac color from I don't know. I think when did I do this? I just kind of want it in the center and up top to be like glossy and cloudy and deposit that pink color. If this pink can't deliver, I'm just gonna use um, the reflex think we're almost there. Yeah, so when you put the gloss on your lip shape, it'll go ahead and define that lip shape for you. Which is why if you're overdrawing your lips, you have to be kind of mindful of where you place your glosses. Um, no, I kind of feel like reflex would be nice, but every time I put like anything remotely glittery, I'm like, yeah, on my lips, and I know that that was jarring. I don't know what's wrong. Wait. Um, I feel like, I mean, we're going big with everything else. Go, let's just go big. Oh, actually, I have another gloss that I used the other day, which is like the Color Jolt, or is that what it's called? Color Jolt, yeah, from Maybelline. And that is much more pigmented. So, like, really just like the faintest touch, because this is a little bit more fuchsia. Yeah, then I can avoid the reflex because I think that depends exactly what the reflex would do. Okie dokie. So I think this is the finished look. Look. How did I do? Let's do a side by side comparison. I don't know what I'm doing or where I'm looking. Yeah, I don't know. This is such a distinct look, and someone just was vibing, and so to recreate this was fun. I think I could have taken. I mean, I talked about using like black shadow, but I ended up not using it because I didn't want to alter the color too much. But I think maybe I could have taken some black and kind of made the lines a little bit more distinct. But I didn't, and I'm not going to. Anyways, I hope you all have a great day, and let me know how you think I did and what you want to see next. Okay, bye.